Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. Progressive Comedy Tour is coming to the East Coast next week. Ron Placone and I, we're each going to do 45-minute sets, and you never know who's going to pop in. Lee Camp might come in. Jeff Epstein's going to be in the Philly shows. Jordan Cheriton says he's coming to the New York City shows. We always have organizations like the DSA moving for a people party there. You can get involved in your local progressive community. Meet other progressives. Everyone says, man, I showed up alone and I met all these progressives. Come to the show and get involved. June 12th, we are in D.C. The 13th in Baltimore. June 14 and 15 in Philly. June 16, New Haven, Connecticut. June 17 in New York City. June 19 in Boston. Go to grahamelwood.com for all your tour dates. Another great way to support the show is to go to Patreon, where Jeanette Johansson submitted this article. A basic income guarantee is a neoliberal strategy for serfdom without the work. Now, this is a very interesting article. It's at this MMT website. The link is in the show notes. And we talk a lot about, universal basic income. And we've talked a lot about MMT on the show. So if you're new to MMT, I have a whole channel. Not a channel, but I'm blanking on the term. I'm going bananas here. A list of all my MMT videos. I have a separate view list. View list. I don't know why my brain is just shutting down. But I put all my MMT videos in one place on the channel if you want to learn more about MMT. So this is an interesting article, and it's interesting, and it's an interesting discussion to have, because what it goes into, and I'll go into the details, is how universal basic income or basic income guarantees, because a lot of big CEOs are starting to push them. The author is asking, should we be leery? Is this just another, like it says, neoliberal strategy for serfdom without the work? Another way to keep people indentured into the capitalist system. We'll give them income rather than just like getting rid of capitalism, making things more socialist. It's like, because the capitalists in the ruling class want this, should we be leery of it? Which is an interesting question to ask. And it bears our discussion and even our debate. So I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. So they are advocating further pathways that they can shore up their control and power, which means bad things for the rest of us. The big, which is what this author refers to as basic income guarantee, is one of those pathways, and it leads to an impoverishment and an ongoing capitalist domination. A basic income guarantee is not a path to nirvana. I see it as just a neoliberal strategy for serfdom without the work. I think we need a federal jobs guarantee within the structure of a Green New Deal. Which is why I'm leery of like Andrew Yang. He talks about UBI, Universal Basic Income. But then he's like a venture capitalist, and I don't trust those people at all. And that's kind of what this article is saying. Neoliberal economists have long endorsed a big as a way of avoiding starvation in a world where they want charitable services to be privately supplied. That's another thing the article goes. A very lengthy article, so it's in the show notes. Read it over yourself. But that's one of the things they make, the points they make. A government that isn't providing as many social services is not taking care of its people, then charity falls on individuals. And corporations set that up to be a tax break. So it's basically like charities and, now people having to do crowdfunding for medical procedures is just a tax on good people. I mean, giving to charity is a wonderful thing, and it's something I do. I try to do when I have, money, and I think it's something we all should do. But this article contends if the government was really providing for its citizens, like in America, for example, if everybody had health care and everybody had college tuition and we gave the homeless housing and education, and part of free health care would include mental illness screenings and drug treatment, we would be actually taking care of our citizens. Would we need people to donate to homeless shelters and stuff like that if we were actually feeding, clothing them, educating them, providing them health care and job training and all this other stuff? Would we need to do that? It's a good argument. It's a good argument. These economists hate collective solutions to social problems. Just read Milton Friedman's 1994 introduction to F.A. Hayek's 50th anniversary edition of The Road to Serfdom, where he expressed disdain for the growing intellectual support of collectivism and suggests that the main game is to defeat any semblance of collective action, which he considers tantamount to socialism. Yeah. So I'll give this author a credit. It's very research heavy and brings up opposing views within the article itself, which is worth a look. The big is very susceptible to neoliberal manipulation. Once you abandon the narrative that it is the government's responsibility to ensure for full employment and agree that all the government is required to do is guarantee a bare existence, then the slippery slope has been erected. That's what I agree with. That's what I agree with. Because we've seen it. We're at the apex of failed, decades-long neoliberal policy. That's what this is. That's what we're enduring right now. Where there's 40 million people living in poverty in the richest country in the history of the world, and CEOs have broken yet another record for average salaries. It's crossed over $16 million a year for average salaries. That's the average CEO salary. That's not counting the egregious, filthy wealth of people like Jeff Bezos that has, $150 billion? He could cut his wealth in half and bring tens of millions of people out of poverty. And he wouldn't lose a thing. He wouldn't lose a private jet. He wouldn't lose a vacation home. He wouldn't lose anything. He wouldn't lose a meal. He'd still be able to have his caviar flown in on a helicopter. He could still have all of that. I mean, he'd just have to eke by a living on $75 billion. I guess you can live on that. I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, next thing you know, you're going to just be drinking your own urine if you only have to live on 75 billion after 150. I mean, I don't know. But this article, we should be taking care of all of our citizens. America is a pretty cruel society. And it's got a lot of pain in it. It dishes out pain. It's a very wounded, tortured society. Its race relations are tortured. The gender roles are tortured. The way we treat people are tortured. And yet we call ourselves this Christian nation, and we're all so loving and sweet, and we got to help everybody. I mean, we'll sanction the shit out of your country to where it causes starvation and political upheaval, then we'll send our troops in, and then when you want to come to our country for help, we're going to build a wall and tell you to go fuck yourself. I mean, that's kind of how we operate. In God we trust. Under a job guarantee approach, the capitalist has to contend with the fact that government jobs may become attractive and be used to pursue community development and green type ventures and still provide unions with the capacity to develop their memberships. The capitalist also has to face the fact that their propensity to create underemployment to increase profits at a time of deficient total spending will be severely restricted by the introduction of job guarantee, where workers would be able to work full-time if desired. That's what we need. Universal job guarantee. Federal job guarantee. You can still go get jobs in the private sector, but there's going to be all these jobs under the Green New Deal. That's what this is about. Thank you, Jeanette, for submitting this article. Very much appreciate you supporting the show. And this is the thing I love is the Patreon folks. You guys help this channel, not just financially, but bring subjects like this and articles like this that I was not aware of, that then all of you are become more aware of. Because that's what we want to do. That's what I want to do, is I want to expand my view. I want to open my worldview and open up to find the solutions that are going to fix things. I want to find solutions. I want to call out people that are abusing their power, and I want to find solutions. And this sounds like a good solution to me. So thanks for watching. Boom, 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 boom. The Political Vigilante. Like, subscribe, share the videos on your social media. Watch the ads all the way through. Don't click skip ad. And support me on patreon.com. You get free well, not free, you get bonus content, exclusive bonus content for as little as $5 a month. Thanks for watching.